My name is Adam Crymble. I'm here to tell you that historians don't drive forklifts. And the reason I'm telling you that is because the way that a lot of historians learn how to code is how I learned how to code, which is not in a formal setting. They haven't been given that opportunity. So what they do is they go and they find a copy of the O'Reilly textbook or whatever, and it's not long before they're being taught how to manage an inventory of widgets, which is why I have a picture of a warehouse here. And that type of activity, while it's an important skill to learn that data handling, is a very good way to turn off historians who aren't necessarily convinced that programming is right for them. So they'll come across one of these and they decide, you know what, I gave it a go, but obviously this isn't relevant to what I'm doing. So some colleagues and I got together and created a resource called the Programming Historian 2, which is essentially an open access textbook, a series of tutorials, and the point of it is to give them lessons that are relevant to the types of tasks that they do on a daily basis. So we're communicating to them in a way that they feel comfortable with it. And we're removing the obstacle of saying, I don't deal with widgets or I don't drive forklifts, so this isn't relevant to me. And we decided very quickly that our team wasn't smart enough or had enough time to cover the full breadth of information that we thought would be useful. So what we've done is we've opened this up to community people submitting lessons to us in a similar model as academic journals use. So we've got people sending us stuff. We keep an eye on blogs, and if we see something that we think is useful, we ask people to submit something. And then the last thing we've done is we've introduced peer review as well. And we've done that for a couple of reasons. The first reason is we wanted people to be confident that they weren't wasting their time doing these tutorials, that somebody had checked over them and they were going to work. Same thing for educators who wanted to make sure that they could be confident that their class would get through the problems. But we also did it for the authors. And the reason we did that is because a lot of historians have been putting stuff on the internet for 10 years, and when they then take that to the department and say, I have a blog, 100,000 people read it, the department says, oh, good for you, but it doesn't count because it's not peer-reviewed. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to take that away from the department. So we're peer-reviewing these, and we're encouraging people to take this to the department and say, this is methodology, this is pedagogy, this is part of my research. What are you going to? How are you going to deal with this? And we're hoping to make them a little bit uncomfortable because we think that they're probably still going to say this doesn't count. But we're doing an iterative process to try to get this type of material to be taken more seriously within history. So we're creating a resource that we hope is useful and relevant and uses the language that historians are used to and humanists more broadly. And we're creating something that we hope works for the authors as well. So.